Hello and welcome to this, our introduction to this. It's an endeavor. Wouldn't you agree?
An endeavor.
Yeah, this is definitely an endeavor.
I suppose that's a word for it.
My name is Jake Lloyd, and I am an actor, filmmaker, and lifelong wrestling nerd.
I am Alexandra Hoy, writer, poet, and new wrestling fan of the last 2 years, I suppose now.
Just, I think it's actually not quite 2.
It's a hair under. It's like a year and, I don't know, like 7 months or something.
Sure. Maybe you have followed us here from Wrestling Compadres, a show in which I produce right here on Dragon Wagon Radio, or maybe you followed either one of us from Dungeons and Dragon Wagon, our homebrew RPG game, or maybe you just accidentally stumbled across us via some sort of podcast search for something wrestling related.
Ooh.
In any case, we're glad to have you. What is it exactly that we're doing here?
I mean, right now we're just sitting here talking.
Okay, that's not what I want. Alexandra came into my life. I'm gonna get in trouble for not knowing.
Wow. Wow. What's our anniversary?
Not quite 2 years.
What's our anniversary?
I have no idea. No idea.
Oh my God.
She came into my life.
Okay, our anniversary is May 12th.
Okay, of what year?
You don't know what year we met?
I don't know. Do you want to know why, babe? Because it feels like I've known you forever.
Oh, bullshit. 2017.
Okay, 2017. So 2 years.
Yes.
When you first met me, and you moved your way into my apartment rather quickly, one of the things that was quite clear was the hallway.
The Brawlway.
And what were your initial thoughts on the Brawlway?
Day one, when I first saw it, which was actually on our second date, I was like, oh my, but not in a bad way, because I'm someone who appreciates passion for nerd culture. And though I, at the time, knew zilch, very little about pro wrestling, I was like, okay, this is a thing. And actually, one thing that went through my mind as well was like, okay, like if this guy and I keep dating, this is a thing that's going to end up being a part of my life. I can already tell. Like I knew
unavoidable.
I knew I was like, and the thing is, like, I've always been the kind of person that wants to give any sort of like nerd culture fandom a chance. Like for a long time I hadn't watched Doctor Who, and then I was like, you know what? And I watched it one day after one of my best friends told me over and over I should check it out, and I did, and I loved it. And it's that sort of thing. Like now I love Star Trek because one day I stumbled upon it as well. Like it's
you're not going to discount something without giving it a chance is what you're trying to get at.
Absolutely. Like,
right.
And there's a lot of like nerdy culture things that I've gotten into over the years, some of which were of my own volition as a kid, and then increasingly as I got older. But then there's some things I still haven't given a real try yet, like anime, for instance. I haven't really gotten into that world, and I have friends who really love it and have given me recommendations, but I haven't really done it.
So what are your thoughts on wrestling being a 2-year fan?
Broadly, that it's a really fun, almost, I don't even want to say bizarre, but maybe I do want to say bizarre. It is bizarre. It's super bizarre. It's a fun, incredibly bizarre, endearing world. I think it probably has some of the most endearing and sweet fans, alongside some of probably the worst human beings on the planet that also like it. Like it, I think it's probably one of the most polarizing, probably right up there with most other sports, actually, on that level. Like
it's not a sport. Don't call it a sport. I hate it. I hate when people call it a sport.
Well, I know. I was going to qualify to say, though it is not a sport. Like it's at the end of the day, it's television. It's just a TV show, but you know, it has that mask, and I think a lot of people assume it is a real sport for a reason. Because also, let's not discredit the incredible athleticism all these people have. And it's like, you know, no one on your average TV show is doing that sort of stuff without a stuntman coming in, you know, and these people blow stuntmen out of the water sometimes, I'm sure.
You like it?
Yeah, I love it. I do.
Yeah,
I have grown to really love it. I think it was a slightly, I think I was pretty enamored from day one, actually. Once I started to understand more and more about all of the insider terms and the sort of gimmicks there were and what they meant and how people presented that. And I started observing more like who sold better than who.
Right.
And learning more about the history, of course, too, behind certain wrestlers. That's when I started to really like fall in love with it.
So it's I think like a lot of wrestling fans who are lifers like me, it's not just about the product, it's about the industry.
Sure.
And I think you've definitely become a little bit more fascinated with the industry than the common fan.
And as we said at the top of the show, like I'm a writer, you're a writer. I think pro wrestling, WWE especially, if you're a writer, you will love this world because it is a incredibly elaborate, detailed world where storylines can last for months, years. I mean,
lifetimes, depending. Yeah,
yeah, right. Which is something I'm less familiar with, but
Sure.
I'm learning about.
Sure.
Yeah.
So speaking of learning, let's get to this. Why this came about. This idea for the show came about during this Royal Rumble season. The 2019 Royal Rumble event was looming. And every year before the annual Royal Rumble, I like to watch one or two old Royal Rumbles to kind of get myself excited. It is my favorite match of the entire year. Now, maybe you are listening to this show as somebody who came here from D&D or from, again, another place, and you're actually not even necessarily a wrestling fan. Maybe you're here to be Alexandra's voice and to experience it as she experiences
Please
it
do.
as a new fan, in which case maybe you're not sure what the Royal Rumble is. So just for clarification, bear with me here.
Hey, Jake.
Other nerds.
What is the Royal Rumble?
Okay, the Royal Rumble is the biggest match of the year in WWE. And when I say biggest match, I mean it's literally the biggest match in which 30 wrestlers compete in one single match. The way it works is 2 men start the match, and every 2 minutes or so, another wrestler joins in the mayhem. Wrestlers are eliminated when they're thrown over the top rope with both of their feet hitting the floor. The last man standing is declared the winner and is usually given a championship title match at WrestleMania as the prize for winning said match.
Or woman as of last year.
Sure, we'll get there. On this show, no.
But still, it's worth noting.
So while watching an old Rumble, Alexandra was in the room, but she was working. She was on her computer. She wasn't really paying entirely attention. But she kept looking up and being like, wait, who the hell is that guy? Wait, what's this deal? Because as much as you've had the crash course over the past year of new stuff and new events, you have decades of history that you're totally and completely unaware of.
And then, of course, we could sit here all day and talk about various acquaintances, various introductions to pro wrestling before I met you. But it was limited. And I think, in the last year and change or whatever, it's been more about catching up and learning what I could.
Right.
And of course, inevitably, there are big names that I could not only not see on the screen actively, just people coming in randomly as a guest spot, but also just, you see something like Glow on Netflix and you can't help but start to learn a bit about the history, or randomly watching Mick Foley's whatever that.
You really liked the reality show.
I was pretty into that for a little while. It was,
So while watching one of the old Rumbles, Alexandra's interest was piqued. And that's when it hit me. The Royal Rumble event is the greatest way to introduce Alexandra to 30 plus years of wrestling history, at least WWE history. Obviously, the Royal Rumble is a WWE/F event. So there's WCW is a whole other beast, and ECW and all those other companies. But in this instance, for this show, we're concentrating on WWE history. We're concentrating on the WWE Royal Rumble. So this is how the show is going to work. Every episode, we are going to pick one Royal Rumble randomly out of a jar that we have here.
We have every year on its own individual little slip.
Starting with the first Royal Rumble in 1988, leading all the way up to the 2017 Royal Rumble. Now, we're excluding 2018 and 2019, which includes the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, from our random pool, because those were the two that Alexandra actually saw live.
My first one was 2017. Yep.
No, 18.
I'm sorry. Yeah, my first one was 2018.
Yes. So we're not those aren't in the pool. So maybe once we get through all of them, because it's been a while,
we can revisit
it.
Yeah.
But with that said, we're excluding those two. We're also excluding the greatest Royal Rumble event, because in this household, we consider that just a glorified house show. The greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. It's not really a Royal Rumble, in my opinion. I know that it is, but it isn't.
No, I'm just laughing at in this household. Like you're the man. You just spoke for this household. Like I don't even know.
Do you not agree?
I don't even know what it is.
Yes, you do. It was the Saudi Arabia show.
Oh, that thing?
Yes.
No, yeah. In this household, it's not
See,
part of
thank
our jar.
you. You can make me seem like an asshole when I know you agree with me. The fuck you trying to do to me here? So that's how it's going to work. We're going to pick shows at random. Now, there are a couple concerns here, but
What concerns do you have, Jake?
Watching them out of order, you may inherently have things spoiled for you. Because let's say that there are specific superstars who maybe won consecutive years. Listening to commentary or whatever as we watch these events, it might be quite clear that like, oh, okay, well now I know this person won the one prior. But I think inverse from that, starting at 1988 and working our way up, I think that some of those earlier Rumbles, they're going to be very fun. But I think that it'll be a better variety for us to sit down and just jump around.
It's going to be a better variety, and I think for anyone who wants to play along, I personally think it's a little more fun. Like, and I'm saying this as someone who's it's a learning experience for me, whereas you're revisiting everything.
Exactly.
And I actually think for either type of person, it can be a really fun way to get acquainted with either the history or reacquaint yourself with all the stuff you already know, but maybe you haven't thought about in a long time.
Sure. And with that said, I am a lifelong fan, like I said, but I'm no means like a 100% statistic expert when it comes to everything, every wrestler WWE. Yeah, there are a few things that I think I'm going to remember everything from 91 on. It's going to be very vivid, I think. But
I'll be curious to see what you maybe forgot, though.
Right.
And what characters maybe you don't remember.
So with that said, a couple other challenges is that so that we can get the full experience on our end, we are going to watch the Rumbles with the actual audio commentary in our headsets, but you won't be able to hear that. But we will be watching the Rumbles uncut in real time.
Entirely.
So what's fun about this is that this podcast could be a Royal Rumble commentary track for you if you so wish. We will establish in the beginning of every episode the chapter marker on the WWE Network that we are for each Rumble, and we will count down to pushing play so that if you desire, you can push play and watch the Rumble along with us in perfect unison.
And if you can, you should, because it'll be really fun.
I'm sure it'll be fun that way.
You can share with us your thoughts.
But we will do the best we can to ensure that you don't necessarily need to do that to enjoy this podcast.
Yes.
It will be a fun time.
If you're on the road, you're commuting to work, you're going to have a fun time.
That's another concern, too, is making sure that we don't just get sucked into watching. And, and then there's just dead air.
Don't worry. I feel like at the very least, I will...
Sure.
At least have a nice shallow comment for you about someone's ridiculous outfit.
We definitely need to have the audio on, I think, so that you can experience the joy of the countdowns and the joy of the audience reactions.
Oh, I 100% need audio.
To specific
That'd be bizarre.
wrestlers.
I couldn't watch it without audio.
Well, I can't wait. I think this is going to be a really fun little adventure we're on here.
I'm excited to learn a little bit more about the history.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the math. 88 to 2017. That's 29 years.
Sure.
88, 98, 2008, 2018. Yeah. That's 29 years.
Which is how old Jake and I are, coincidentally.
Not at all. I don't do that shit. What are you grouping me into that weird douchey world of people who don't tell their age? I'm an old man. I'm 77 years old.
I am 82.
So we will have 29 episodes of this program, definitively.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes from there. Maybe if you enjoy doing this with me, we can move on and do maybe the Elimination Chambers.
Yeah.
Another sort of multi-man match.
I pictured, if we have fun with it, we'll see where it goes.
We'll see where it goes. I do hope that you will join us for our very first episode in this learning experience, in this experiment, in this journey through the WWE Royal Rumbles here on Me, You, and 30 Other Men.
It's Dragon Wagon.